Hello everybody and welcome back to AlexElliottGolf, and welcome to the channel if you're a brand new viewer. Don't forget to subscribe and give this content a thumbs up. Loads of content coming throughout the game to help you improve. So today's video is all about how we can create crazy amounts of spin from that 40 to 80 yard area, so when we're pitching towards the green. Now, it's important to note there are certain external factors we can't control, but today's video is going to talk through the factors we can control to give you the best chance of creating that crazy amount of spin. So we have to have a nice fairway lie for one, but also we have to be pitching towards a nice green as well. We've got to have a good surface in order to land the ball on that's relatively fast to create the spin. So a nice tight lie and good greens are very, very important for creating crazy spin, and that's what we see out on tour. If you see the guys on European Tour, or PGA Tour, or even the Ryder Cup we had a few weeks ago, when they're creating that spin, they had great ground conditions and great greens in order to do it on. But don't get too upset if you're not creating the crazy amounts of spin you're hoping for. We're going to talk through now the areas you can control. So the first area I want to talk about is your club selection. Now, I'd always use the most lofted club in your golf bag, so I would use something between 56 and 58 degrees of loft in your hand to create the crazy amounts of spin. Now, if you guys have got like a 60 or even a 62, sometimes this can have a very, very detrimental effect on you creating the spin, because sometimes we get to a fact where if we add loft to the golf club at impact, then our spin loft becomes too great, and that's the difference between your angle of attack and the dynamic loft you have in your golf club at impact. And now if that becomes too great, that angle, so the difference between those two vectors, then it's almost too much of a glancing blow on this golf ball in order to create friction to create the spin. So it's very important you don't use too much loft, but also use a lofted club also. So anywhere I would recommend between my 52, 56 and 58 degree wedge. That would be absolutely perfect area to do that. So we've now chosen the club we're going to do to help create this spin. Now, we also need a ball, so we all can control what ball we play with. So I would like to use a relatively soft ball in order to help me create the spin. Now, this would be it's not very easy to create a range ball, but if I was using a ball that I would use, would be kind of a Pro V, a Strixon, a Z-Star. So it's something that's a relatively soft golf ball in order to help me create the spin I'm looking for. So they're the first two factors we can control: the club selection and the ball that we use. Now we're going to talk through the setup and technique that's really going to help you create the spin. So let's talk about how we're going to stand to this golf ball. So let's talk about, a lot of people, the theory that I was told when I was starting playing is that if we put the ball towards the back of our stance and hit down on it more, we're going to create a lot of spin. Well, yes, we might create a bit of spin, but that ball is going to be firing in very low, it's going to skid across the surface, and it's going to be very hard to stop it. It's almost going to go in on too much of a flat angle towards the green. So we're looking for kind of a more of a not a floating angle, but a more of a parachute kind of aeroplane landing angle of this golf ball with a lot of spin on it. That's the ideal scenarios we're looking for. So the ball position we're going to talk through now, and the setup. So I want you to place down now this golf club behind the golf ball. I want you to keep the golf club relatively square to your target, and I would almost soften that slightly. And what I mean by that is I slightly open my golf club at address, just a tiny bit, so it would feel like it's almost pointing slightly right of my ball to target line, and that's what I just call softening the face. So from here, I'm really looking to create a stance that is just enough a shoulder width apart, but making sure that my feet at the moment, knees, hips and shoulders are all running parallel to that ball to target line. So if I had two lines here from down the line, you could see now how my feet and shoulders are all running parallel to that ball to target line. So from here, I really want you to feel that you're going to have 60 to 40% of your weight favouring your lead side, to my left side here. And from here, now we want to make sure my ball position is just to the right of centre. So I'm feeling like now it's on almost on my right eye is a really good reference point, that as I stand over here, the ball position is just on my right eye, so it's just right of centre. So now we've got a ball position, we've got our weight, we want to feel like the butt of our club is going to be in a position between our belt buckle and the first rung on our belt. We don't want to see these hands too far forward, and we don't want to see these hands behind the golf ball, certainly not. So I want you to feel like now you've got this butt of the club in between the middle of your belt buckle and the first rung on your belt, on the first rung on your trousers. And that's going to give you a nice position of your hands almost just past the golf ball. Not too excessive, but just past the golf ball there. And the final piece of this puzzle is I want to feel like now, whilst maintaining that these shoulders are parallel to our ball to target line, that you're just going to pull this left foot back slightly. So you're just going to feel like you pull the left back, but keep the shoulders square to our ball to target line and parallel to that. So from now here, we've got a really good setup to really give me the best chance of creating the impact factors I'm looking for to create maximum amount of spin. Now let's talk through the feelings I want you to have through the hit in order to do this. So in terms of strike, we're looking for a strike that is going to be just below centre. So where we usually normally strike a normal pitch shot, if you weren't looking for crazy amounts of spin, to create crazy amounts of spin, we need a shot and a strike that's just below centre. It may feel a little bit thin for some people, not looking for a thin shot, but we're looking for a strike that's just below centre in order to create crazy amounts of spin. And that is explained by gear effect, if that's why a little bit below centre helps create a little bit more spin. So let's now just go through the setup. Why we said we want to soften the face. We're going to stand in, ball position on our right eye, weight favours the lead side, hands between our belt buckle and our first rung, retract the left foot whilst keeping the shoulders parallel to our ball's target line. Now, this is the way I want you to picture this. So if we start at this position at impact, the feelings I want you to have now is, can I return back to this position? Can I return to a position where I've got a nice descending action on the golf ball, I've got a nice bruising action with the bounce bruising the ground, so feeling like the bounce brushes the ground. And I want you to feel like now, if we can start this position, if we took a freeze frame at address, can we return exactly back to the same position at impact? And if we can, we have the hands nicely ahead of the golf ball, and we'd be in a very, very good place, assuming we get a nice strike, creating crazy amounts of spin. So if we start here, can we finish here? And I'll take a few practicings. Can I finish here? And now my feeling through impact is that I want you to feel like you're almost going to curtail that follow through. And I want you to feel like as we swing through now, this golf club feels like it overtakes your hands. Now this may not happen. We still want these hands ahead of the golf ball, but we're certainly looking for a nice amount of speed down at the bottom, and speed helps create spin. So let's jump in here now. Let's try this one. So can I return back to the same position where I started and feel like this club overtakes the hands, and I really hold this curtailed follow through to do this. Let's hit this one now. Really nice move that. Really nice bruising action on the golf ball. Quite a nice amount of spin there. So hit this one again. So really simple thoughts. Can I return back to the same position I started? And can I feel like I've got a nice descending but bruising action with the bounce on the golf ball, and feeling like I've got nice speed with this golf club, feeling like it overtakes the hands? Let's hit another one. So nice address position, retract the left foot, weight, ball, hands ahead of the golf ball. Can I return back to the same position and feel like I can really feel like I can tail this follow through, and the club feels like it overtakes the hands? I'd be looking for a position where I look like now. So a normal shot would feel like we were more this way for me, whereas a shot we're looking to create crazy amounts of spin, I'd be looking to position like here. So it's almost like my right hand's going to be in this motion to create that spin here, as opposed to feeling like we're making a full shot, would be in this position. So you can see there's a subtle difference there, and I feel like a tail follow through really helps me create speed, but at the right point as well. Let's hit this one again. Really nice on that one. Even felt a little bit thin for me, but really gave me a nice spinning action on the golf ball. So like I said, guys, we're looking for a strike that's just below centre. And like we said, it might feel a little bit thin, but if we turn back to the position where we started, and if we couldn't tell any difference between the screenshot we take at address, the screenshot we take at impact, then we're in a very, very good position to create crazy amounts of spin. And then from here, we're going to feel this golf club overtakes our hands, and we create a nice brushing, bruising action with the bounce of our golf club. So there you go, guys. We've got the 3 keys that you can control to help you create spin on the golf course. There you go, guys. You've got the 3 keys to help you create crazy amounts of spin on the golf course. You've got the club, you've got the ball you're going to use, and then you've got the setup and in-swing feelings to help do that. Take those away and really have a go. And it feels a little bit strange to begin with, you trying to feel like you're spinning it and this curtail follow through, but I can assure you, if you meet those and start in that address position and come back to that address position, you're going to be in a very, very good place to create crazy amounts of spin. Thank you for watching today's video, guys. Make sure you subscribe and don't forget to give all this content a thumbs up. Thanks very much, and see you next time on Alex Elliott Golf.